Hi, I'm Kelly, the owner and founder of Green Juju. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our products and how it's the easiest way to add fresh food to any dog's diet. Green Juju was founded in 2014 when my yellow lab Bailey was diagnosed with a rare joint tumor. All we knew about the cancer was that chemo and radiation weren't effective and that amputation was the only option. After a round of biopsies to diagnose the cancer, Bailey was in really rough shape. She had ear infections, bladder infections, yeast infections, and I knew I couldn't put her through a major surgery. Having recently been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition myself, I started to look towards the power of healing with real whole foods. And I started to apply what I was learning for myself to Bailey's diet. How we could add kale and turmeric for anti-inflammatories and bone broth to heal her gut with digestion. And I worked with a canine nutrition specialist to help fine-tune the amounts of the blend that I was making and ensure that it was safe for daily feeding. Over the next 9 months, we fed this to Bailey in addition to her raw diet, her Chinese herbs, along with acupuncture and T-touch. And what we found was at the end of 9 months, she was doing really well. Her eyes were bright, her skin and coat was clear, the cancer hadn't spread, the tumor was still there, but she had energy, she was happy, and she was doing really well. So we ended up going through with the surgery and she bounced right back. She literally pulled the vet techs out of surgery to go to the bathroom and just never stopped. So we had another 4.5 years with her as a happy, hoppy tripod, and we're just super happy to see that she did so well. So during that time, when she was first diagnosed, I had a dog walking business. And all of my clients kind of knew what was going on with Bailey and were curious. And so I started dropping off what became Green Juju to these clients. And what they told me was really surprising. They said that their dogs were shedding less, they had less eye goop, they were less sore after the park. Maybe they weren't starving all the time. Just all these different things that led me to dive back into the research and try to figure out why these things were happening. And what I learned was that really every dog can benefit from some fresh whole food in their diet. So what is Green Juju? Green Juju is a whole food supplement for dogs made with organic, low glycemic green vegetables, human grade bone broth, coconut oil, lemon, ginger, and turmeric. The reason that we use whole foods as opposed to some type of a vitamin supplement is because when you use whole foods, the body can absorb and use everything that's there, as opposed to a synthetic vitamin that the body has to work really hard to break down and use. I knew that Bailey needed all the help that she can get, and I wanted to make things as easy as possible for her. I created Green Juju to target the skin and coat, joints, digestion, and immune system. And we use different ingredients to target these different things because they all have different properties. Like kale is very anti-inflammatory. The bison bone broth that we use in the Just Greens blend, we use that to help support the joints, to help repair the connective tissue, and also support the gut lining. People ask, what is Green Juju good for? It's not just good for one thing. Nutrition doesn't work like that. When you're supporting the body with better nutrition, you're supporting everything all at once. So maybe that's less inflammation in the joints, it's better digestion, it's supporting the immune system and reducing the risk of allergies or yeast. All of these things will happen simultaneously when you increase the nutrients in the dog's diet. To make Green Juju, we juice all of our ingredients and then we blend the fiber back in with the moisture. The fiber is a really important part because it helps to maintain the microbiome and support digestion. And it slows down the nutrients and water so that that's able to be absorbed by the body, and then it also can bind the waste and take it out of the body. So dogs don't have the enzymes to break down plant cell walls, and so that's why we're doing it for them by juicing, then blending, then combining it back together. What that means is that dogs are actually able to easily pull the nutrients out of these plants that they wouldn't otherwise benefit from. So does that mean that if you feed your dog a carrot, they're not going to get any nutrients out of it? They're mostly going to get the fiber. That's why you usually see the carrot you fed them on the way out. And that's why we do the process the way that we do it, so that we know that the dogs are getting the maximum benefit from the nutrients that we're feeding them. We have two blends. We have our original Just Greens blend that was created for Bailey. This has organic kale, dandelion greens, a bison bone broth, celery, turmeric, And then we also have our Bailey's blend, which has organic green cabbage, broccoli, blueberries, cilantro, organic turkey bone broth. So both of the blends have less than 3% net carbs. They're both antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, support digestion and immunity. We wanted both blends to have the same benefits, but reach those benefits using different ingredients, because every different ingredient will have different properties to it. So even if you have two plants that are both anti-inflammatory, they're gonna have different phytonutrients or different ways that they fight that inflammation, and having a broader range of nutrients for our dogs and ourselves is always gonna be better. When choosing between the two blends, we'll always recommend to rotate, because that way you're gonna get the broadest nutrient profile. But to break it down, the Just Greens blend has the bison bone broth, and the Bailey's blend has the organic turkey bone broth. The Just Greens blend has kale and dandelion greens, which can bring kind of a stronger flavor, but that's also what helps it be such a potent detoxifier. We've had this blend for 7 years, and the palatability has always been great on it. The Bailey's blend with the broccoli and the blueberries will have a bit of a milder flavor, but again, I think you can start with either one, and I would definitely recommend to rotate between the two. To feed Green Juju, all you have to do is take your container out of the freezer, thaw it in the fridge for about 24 hours, and then scoop and mix into the meal. We recommend that when you're first introducing it to a dog, that you scoop a small amount in, mix in thoroughly, and then work out over the course of a few days. A lot of dogs will just go for it right away, but we like to ensure a successful introduction just for dogs that may have not been familiar with eating greens before. Green Juju can be added to any type of diet, whether that's a dry commercial diet, a raw diet, a home-cooked diet, whatever you're doing, there can be a place for Green Juju. If you're feeding a raw diet that already has vegetables included, we recommend reducing the amount of Green Juju to make up for the overall vegetable content that you want. Some people ask, is there still a benefit of adding Green Juju if the food I'm feeding already has vegetables in it? I would say yes, because it's very likely that the vegetables in Green Juju are going to be different than what's in that raw diet, and so again, you're giving them the broader nutrient range with more vegetables. Once you open a container of Green Juju, it should be used within 5 to 7 days in the fridge. If you're not going to go through the container in that amount of time, I'd recommend thawing it into an ice cube tray, and then you just pop out an ice cube as you need. This is a great way to get a good value out of the container and also have a fun treat for your pup. What dogs will benefit from Green Juju? We think just about every dog will benefit from the fresh food that Green Juju adds, especially puppies as they're just developing their immune systems and growing big and strong, very active dogs that need some help with recovery, aging and senior dogs, or just any dogs that want to be optimally healthy. The real goal of Green Juju is just to add some fresh food to the diet. The vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that come from fresh whole food just can't be replaced in a processed diet. We make it easy, convenient, and fun to add some life to the bowl with just a couple scoops. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about Green Juju with me today. If you have questions or you want to dive deeper, look at our website on our retailers portal. The password is Green Juju, all lowercase. There's lots of great resources on there, and always feel free to reach out to me. Whether you submit something through the website or through Instagram or Facebook, it'll go right to me, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you guys.